veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, watch the video all the way through. It helps the channel. Okay, so a couple things real quick before we hop into this video. Part 2 to the secret pond mission is happening. I'm gonna use a different bait to go in there and really dissect and see how many fish are in there. Drop down below if you think you know what I'm gonna use, because this bait that I'm gonna use, undefeatable, and I guarantee we're gonna catch a lot of fish. Second thing, this is my opinion, this is what I do, and these are some of the baits that I like to throw for early spring. And I live down here in the south, so in Texas, and these are some of the baits that I enjoy. It's strictly my opinion, so if you don't see your bait, don't get offended. Just drop it down in the comments down below and let me know. I love to try different things. Let's kick it off. We're gonna kick it off with this crankbait. Reddish, love red, love gold, love white. Those are some of my favorite colors. So the crankbait, I love to use the crankbait right here. Now it really depends, right? Because if I go to my personal lake, it is covered in grass. And if you know anything about treble hooks, they snatch grass. I also love the sound. Hear that? So you can hear the noise that the bait's making. So the crankbait, it's just a bait fish, right? Bait fish with a tight wobble. And also, this one right here, I can get down low, and it can represent a crawfish that is fleeing away from a bass. So we went the other day, or my brother went the other day, they caught crawfish, right? Everybody down there was using live bait. Live bait is one of the best baits you can use, right? They went down there, a lot of people were using minnows. They went down there with crawfish, and they caught bass, back to back to back to back. So, dude, this right here, money, especially when I get down there in those ponds and creeks, where I'm able to throw this, where the treble hook does not ruin my day by catching more grass than bass, because nobody wants to catch more grass than bass. I mean, that's just a fact. Next thing that I thoroughly enjoy to use, I use a fair amount. I don't always film it with the camera, but I do use this, and it's the arig. Arig, baby. Now ignore what's on here. I understand these are bandito bugs, they're not supposed to be on there. All right, I get it, but hey, bass will eat damn near anything, I promise you. So arig. Now I understand some states, from what I've heard, you can't use all 5 hooks. That's unfortunate for you guys, but down here where I live, we can use all 5 hooks, so it's like fair game. So I got 5 chances, all right? Good for early spring and winter, okay? So in winter, these fish can be like more lethargic, and it takes a lot more energy to get fish. But if you see something like this, I feel like this is more, this will get a chance to get 8, because there's just more of a chance to get bait. It's a ball of bait, guys. If I was a bass, I'm going for a ball of bait every single time. And during spring, you're able to cover a lot of water with an A-rig. So A-rig is definitely my top. Now I think you can get some A-rigs with like blades and stuff on them, but I don't have that. I lost a bunch of A-rigs. That's the bad part about A-rigs. A-rigs are expensive. So they're expensive to get the A-rig, and then they're expensive to put everything on here that you need to actually fish the A-rig. But I'm able to use all hooks, and I'm able to cover a lot of water, and it's a ball of bait, and I just feel like bass are gonna go for the ball of bait. You can't go wrong with the A-rig. I feel like you can't go wrong with, you guessed it, the chatterbait. I used to not be a fan of the chatterbait, honestly. I used to not be a fan of a lot of things. I used to be like, when I first started, and I actually have not been bass fishing that long. I've been bass fishing for about a year and a half. I used to only just throw the Texas rig, because you just can't go wrong with a freaking Senko or a wacky rig or something like that. Just can't go wrong with it. But then as I got, you know, a little better, a little more experience, I started experimenting with different lures. So right here, chatterbait. What do I love about the chatterbait? First off, it's a bait fish. All these things represent a bait fish, right? So we got a bait fish, but right here, this blade, when you're reeling this in, you're gonna feel that vibration. It's brrr, you know what I mean? To make the tip of the pole vibrate. It's gonna cause a lot of commotion in the water. So when I'm fishing like grass and things like that, I feel like that vibration gets the fish's attention. It makes them come up and grab this guy. I've caught a lot of freaking fish on a chatterbait. So chatterbaits became one of my top baits to throw. I love bluegill patterns, all those type of things. So chatterbait, guys, get your hands on a chatterbait, really dope. And then obviously, oh yeah, by the way, when you get a chatterbait, you can add a trailer to it. Highly recommend the trailer. All the trailers that I use, so this looks like a minnow, ghost minnow, whatever pattern. And this right here is the Rage swim tail, I believe, paddle tail or whatever it's called, that it's trailered up with. So I trailer all my things mainly with this. I also trailer the freaking spinnerbait. I don't know, I love the spinnerbait. Personally, I love the spinnerbait. Another thing you can do with the spinnerbait is cover a lot of water. So a lot of water is able to be covered with the spinnerbait. So you can see on the spinnerbait, for any of you guys that are new, you have blades on these as well. So you don't get as much vibration as you do with the chatterbait, but still these blades, they spin, they reflect sunlight, they reflect different things, they help get that fish's attention. But also the blades do cause vibration in the water or disrupt the water, which allows them to want to come hit this. So they get aggressive during this time of the year. So get out there, get on this thing, cover a lot of water. You can also trailer these up, and there's different sizes. I have a bigger one. You have different size spinnerbait. So you got a bigger one and then a smaller one, and then you can see this spinnerbait is trailered up with one of those Rage swim paddle tail deals that I always have. I always have a bag of those on go. And then you can also see some of these blades are different blades, so you're gonna get a different reaction there, different color. So gold and silver, and those are orange and chartreuse. And then you also got some beads in between there, and that's just more noise. And then I have some other spinnerbaits I use that I got from Guggen. It's one like where the actual bait itself swings, and then I think there's another one where it's like a chain or something. I don't remember. I have a bunch of them, but I lost them all. I've hung them all up. I've lost a lot of bait. The next thing that I like to throw is the buzzbait. A lot of people probably wouldn't want to throw the buzzbait just because the water's cold. But down here, I live on a power plant lake. That water's hot as hell, like year round. I'm not even kidding. That water does not get cold. And I like to throw a buzzbait. Once again, we are like covering a lot of water, trying to find those schooled up bass and then get on them. So buzzbait, I'm able to get on top of that water. If it's, you know, obviously I go off conditions. Like right now, it's cloudy. Sun's kind of hidden. It's been like before rain. A little bit after, whatever, or during, I'll throw a buzzbait, dude. I don't care. I will throw a buzzbait. One of my favorite topwaters. This was not the first topwater that I thoroughly liked, and I actually don't even have that because I've lost it so many times. But favorite topwater of all times, and this ain't it, but I'm just showing you. It's a frog. Now the reason I say this ain't it, you can see it. I love a popping frog, guys. I love a popping frog, all black, eat me popping frog. Definitely my favorite freaking bait to throw for topwater action. One thing that I noticed that some people do, I'm gonna pull this frog out. One thing that I see people do all the time when I'm buying baits or just listening to people in general, correct me if I'm wrong, is everybody wants to buy the freaking frog based off what they're seeing up here, right? It says eat me on there. I don't know why that's not. It says eat me on there. It has like this rough frog toad pattern to it. Guys, the frog sits like this in the water and they can't see anything up here, anything happening. Now they can see the legs. These are the legs. Also make sure you trim your legs because I've had a lot of bites where I've missed. But focus on the belly. The belly is what matters. This is the color that they're gonna see. This is what they're looking for right there. So this would be white with, it looks like a chartreuse mouth. So focus on the underneath the frog. The top, it's all cool, it's all dope if you enjoy looking at it. But at the end of the day, I feel like they're just looking at the bottom. and they're eating head. And I've heard that most of them eat head first, so I'd really focus up here on what pattern's going on up here. That's just what I heard. Word on the street. So that's just my little tip video today, a little breakdown on what I like to throw. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it helps you a little bit, and maybe decide, maybe you want to try some of those, maybe you just want to stick to what you're doing. Totally up to you, totally understand. If you do anything different, if you throw different lures, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do, you got jerk baits, you got all kinds of different things. That jerk bait's good for suspended fish and all these other different things. And I know people fish in different places. Like right now, it doesn't snow here really, honestly, and it doesn't ice clearly. And if it does, it's barely, it's barely, guys. Our water doesn't freeze like that. Every now and then we have some crazy stuff that happens, but generally that doesn't happen. Now, if you want to see any more tip videos like how I catch crappie, different techniques on that, because we're going to be doing some crappie fishing videos soon, or we're going to go catch white bass. On Instagram, I posted like, I don't know how many white bass that was. That was a bunch of white bass that we caught. So hopefully this video helps you guys in any type of way. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, helps me out. Part 2 to the pond video will be dropping soon. Stay tuned for that. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next adventure.